everything happens in pairs. High and low, light and dark, day and night, body and soul, male and female, positive and negative, life and death, heaven and earth. Yin and yang are two sides of the coin. There is no yin without yang. There is no yang without yin. So everything is related and all things are one. Just as a lyrics in the hymn song says, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. Talking about all things are one, here is an example. A beam of white light can be split into a spectrum of 7 colors. This is because the light travels from air to glass. It literally travels from a less dense medium to a more dense medium. As a result of this, the speed of light slows down, and therefore the colors are split because they have different wavelength and different frequency. So this is called refraction in physics. Now, if you spin a colored wheel, on the other hand, then you will get a white color. You see, you spin a 7-colored wheel, you get a white color. So that tells you everything are in one. Here is an example of light wave, and at each top of the wave is called a crest. At each bottom of the wave is called a trough. So crests and troughs exist in pairs. One cannot exist without the other. So differences, borders, lines, surfaces, boundaries, they don't divide things from each other, they only join them together. For example, if I lived next to you, my fence is your fence. Redox reaction is an abbreviation of reduction and oxidation reaction. Iron oxide react with carbon monoxide, produce iron and carbon dioxide. Carbon lose electrons and oxidation reaction is taken place. Iron gain electrons and reduction reaction is taken place. So when carbon atoms lose electrons, iron gain that electrons. So whatever the electrons lost will be gained by iron. So you don't really lose any electrons, you don't really gain any electrons. It's just a matter of transfer electrons from one to the other. So this is can be understood as yin and yang, because everything happens in pairs. If some element lose electrons, then the other one got to gain that electrons, and the number of electrons you lost and you gained equal to each other. Electrons do not lose in the thin air. Albert Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared explains the relationship between energy and mass perfectly. From this equation, you can see that mass is a concentrated form of energy. Energy presents itself as heat, light, sound, movement, gravitational pull, and etc. It is defined as the ability to do work. They can be transformed from one type to the other, but you cannot destroy or generate energy. They're always there. So even you can see the form of matter as solid, liquid, and gas, you cannot see the energy. So you can experience energy with your sixth sense, but you can't literally see it. So matter and energy can also be understood as a pair of yin and yang. And in my eyes, the mass is a very, very focused, concentrated form of energy. Biomass are organic matters from living organisms. They are mainly carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and fibers, which provide us with nutrients. Now, most percentage of living matter is water. So if water is removed, just like baking leaves, for example, now what left is the dry mass, and that is called biomass. Because water is the most abundant chemical found in living things, one would imagine that how water behaves would play a key role in healthy growth and living. Now, under different sound frequency and vibrations, water forms different patterns and shapes. Now, this is a very interesting picture I present to you. Now, under different vibration, the water forms different patterns. Now, if a person have a different mood, for instance, now this person's water molecules could also change its shapes and patterns accordingly. Now, if chickens are caged all their lives, now their water molecules in their body must also shaped in a particular form. If we eat this kind of miserable chickens, what do you think that would affect our health? So, water is a very, very important molecule for us to consider. Now, sometimes you can see in the winter when it is snow, the different snow flowers formed. They're beautiful. Each of them are different to each other. So I would imagine when that form are really shaped by the vibration and frequency at that particular moment. The founder of Taoism is Lao Tzu, who considered love, justice, respect, and moderation as the features of true humanity. The word Tao, meaning path, is a reference to the effortless way in which nature works. Mankind should avoid choice and striving, but live as naturally as water flows downhill. Water flows naturally. When there is an obstacle, it finds its own way. Water works with nature. Water does not work against nature. Life is a process. It is an experience. Try to enjoy more and worry less. Try to work more with what you got and fight less. When you are anxious, think about yin and yang. Things will sort itself out eventually. This way, you may find your ultimate inner peace and happiness.